Good evening. It is the Resistance Report for January 30th, 2017. We've had 9 full days of the Trump administration, and each one seems to get almost worse than the one before it, if that's possible. This weekend was a good example. It starts out with an order that almost escapes attention. That is, Donald Trump puts his political strategist, Stephen Bannon, on the Principals Committee of the National Security Council. Now, this is weird. Let me explain why it's just this weird. Because the National Security Council is, in every administration, composed of generals and experts, foreign policy experts. Their job is to give a president facts, analysis, dispassionate, nonpartisan facts and analysis, so a president can make decisions about foreign policy that are not affected by politics or strategy. So he puts his political strategist, Steve Bannon, on the National Security Council and then simultaneously demotes from the National Security Council the people who know even more. I mean, people who are in charge of intelligence, people who are in charge of the military, Joint Chiefs of Staff. Not only does this make no sense, I mean, it would make no sense in an ordinary administration, but this is no ordinary administration because Steve Bannon, remember, is or was the publisher of Breitbart News, that alt-right white supremacist foul stronghold of racism and hatefulness. What is this man doing on the Principals Committee of the National Security Council? Well, here's what worries me. Not only is Trump not going to get the facts, he doesn't care about the facts. He's made it very clear he doesn't care about any facts or any analysis. He doesn't want anything that he doesn't already feel is the truth. He doesn't want the truth. That's bad enough. It's also bad enough that he's putting somebody on there who is Looney Tunes and hateful. But if you combine Donald Trump in terms of Donald Trump being as unhinged as he appears to be and as ignorant as he appears to be with Steve Bannon, who is not only a nutcase but very malicious, then in terms of foreign policy, I begin to worry, as you should. In fact, I know you're worried about a lot of things. I'm worried about a lot of things. The worry threshold went up a lot this weekend, Friday night, that the Trump orders, the Muslim bans. Now, Trump keeps on saying, and all weekend he and his surrogates have been saying, it's not really a Muslim ban. Well, I'm sorry. It is a Muslim ban. Even Rudy Giuliani went on Fox News this weekend and said, of course it's a Muslim ban. In fact, Donald Trump consulted me about it, wanted to do something to ban Muslims, but make it appear that it was legal. And so I came up with this scheme of going after these countries, where predominantly Muslim countries. Interestingly, also, here's something that needs to be addressed. These 7 countries where there was this Muslim ban imposed are all countries where Trump doesn't have business, but all the countries that are predominantly Muslim, where Trump does have business interests. And I'm talking about everything from the United Arab Emirates to Dubai and Saudi Arabia and on and on and on. There was no ban. These are the places, by the way, not incidentally, where terrorists that toppled the World Trade Center and attacked America in 2001, they came from these other places where Donald Trump is doing business and doesn't want to put a ban. So not only is it a religious test that contravenes all of the traditions of America, not only does it make the Muslim world look at America as anti-Muslim, but it also doesn't do anything to in any way jeopardize Donald Trump's business interests. The ban has been met by demonstrations at American airports, by demonstrations around the world, 10,000 marching in London alone. by world leaders complaining, by Americans outraged, and by chaos. I want to talk about chaos for a second, because this is also a characteristic, it is coming to be, of the Trump administration. There is no consultation with anybody. There's no consultation with the State Department or any agency involved, the Justice Department or Homeland Security. They just go ahead and do it. They don't even consult with lawyers. The result is you get absolute chaos. That's what we had this weekend at many airports, with nobody knowing exactly what the rule was. Could people come in if they had green cards? Could they not come in? Or if they were coming in from one of these 7 nations, suppose it was an American citizen who was in one of these 7 Muslim nations trying to get back. Well, that chaos, by the way, is a result of not having any process, any decision-making process, any system of consultation. This is what we would expect from a tyrant who is just sitting in the Oval Office making decisions. And that's what we have. It's important at times like this to recognize that many officials, people, many Americans in official positions are actually doing their jobs, are standing up against Trump and against this move toward tyranny. And I think we should appreciate people like, for example, Lindsey Graham, Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican senator, and Senator John McCain, both of them issuing a statement saying that these bans are wrong. They send the wrong signal to the Muslim world. They are actually jeopardizing U.S. security. Good for these Republicans. Wish more Republicans would stand up to this, be heard, have the courage to say what is true, talk truth. Also, we need to appreciate and send kudos to Sally Yates, the acting Attorney General at the Justice Department, who just a while ago said she was not going to enforce this Muslim ban. She thought it was illegal. Now, she's not going to be there much longer. Trump may fire her within the next hour. Who knows? And there is going to be, if he is confirmed, a new Attorney General. But for now, at least, let's give kudos to Sally Yates for upholding the law and doing whatever she can. Also, I want to express appreciation to Ann Donnelly, Judge Ann Donnelly, U.S. District Court in New York, for ruling that, and she was the first one, there were 3 district courts, judges around the country, she was the first one for ruling that this Muslim ban is illegal, and issuing an injunction, a stay of these orders. You see, when you have in our system power run amok, you have to rely on people like Republicans in the Senate, courageous people, like judges, like holdovers temporarily at the Justice Department, who believe in the law and understand what their responsibility and obligation is under the Constitution, under the law. Ordinarily, we wouldn't celebrate these people because they're just doing their jobs. But this is not an ordinary time. And doing your job deserves some commendation because it takes a certain degree of courage to stand up to Trump and stand up to tyranny. The silver lining here, to the extent that there is a silver lining, and I want to end these little resistance reports to you, I try to, with something that is at least a little bit positive, and there is something positive here. You see, so many Americans, particularly after seeing 8 or 9 days of Trump's unhinged behavior, seeing the danger that he is posing to our democracy, even if they are Republicans, these Americans are beginning to wake up. They're waking up to the danger. They are beginning to get involved. People who have not been involved in politics, who have not understood that part of citizenship is activism, are becoming activated. You know how quickly hundreds of lawyers descended on major airports to help people who were being detained? It was extraordinary. Demonstrators at many of these airports who have never demonstrated before. These aren't professional demonstrators. These are average Americans who are saying, this is wrong. This is dangerous. This activism is critically important. Now, we cannot end, obviously, with demonstrations. Demonstrations are a means of reassuring ourselves and also demonstrating to power that we have the numbers. But obviously, we've got to go beyond demonstrations. We've got to make sure that this power grab by Donald Trump, by a man who looks and acts more and more unhinged every day, is ended. We've got to make sure he is impeached. Now, some people say to me, but Michael Pence is worse. No, I would take a right-winger as president over a sociopath any day of the week. So keep at it. Keep getting involved. Keep showing Donald Trump and showing the world that we are not sitting back in this country letting this happen. Keep resisting. Build your organization. Mobilize. Organize. Let your members of Congress know exactly what you think. If you can't get through, and many people say to me they can't get through, keep on calling. Mobilize your neighborhood, your congressional district. Support organizations like the American Civil Liberties Union that are doing their job on the front line to protect people, protect civil liberties. Be active. Have the courage of your conviction, and do as many Americans are doing in their official capacities, even, again, many Republicans, stand up to all of this. Resist it. That's the end of tonight's Resistance Report, and I look forward to talking with you tomorrow.